From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, Hannah Mordeau here, and this is your News 8 Daily for Monday, July 6th. Happy Monday after a holiday weekend. We celebrated America's 250th over the weekend. There were lots of fun fireworks celebrations, and the temps, while things are starting to cool off a little, 82 degrees is going to be the high today. Do expect the possibility of scattered storms, though, throughout the day.
Your day moves fast. Your news should too. That's why there's a new and improved Wish TV app, bringing you more local news, breaking alerts, live streaming, weather forecast, radar, and Indiana sports, all in one place. Customize your news feed to see the stories that matter most to you and get the information you need when you need it. Download the new and improved Wish TV app today on iOS or Android and take News 8 with you everywhere.
Fireworks caused thousands of injuries across the country, especially over the 4th of July weekend. News 8's Kat Sandoval spoke to an emergency room doctor at Eskenazi Health about the injuries he sees this time of year.
This is a plastic hand that held fireworks, and you can see the burnt marks all over it. Now, just imagine if it had been a real hand. Dr. Stepsis has been warning about fireworks safety for years. He told us he saw multiple fireworks-related injuries this July 4th.
Where we definitely see the highest concentration during this weekend for sure.
Fireworks cause at least 13,000 injuries nationwide each year. That's according to the National Fire Protection Association. About 2/3 of those injuries occur around the July 4th holiday. Dr. Stepsis says he sees the consequences firsthand at Eskenazi Health.
Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, and so it's one of those things where once things tip over, you get into new and exciting fireworks that you may not know that much about. That's when bad things can happen.
Common fireworks injuries are burns and injuries to the hands and fingers. Jason Pierre-Paul learned the dangers of fireworks the hard way. It cost him 2.5 fingers. Despite that, he returned to play 8 games with the Giants in 2015.
A lot of folks think it can't happen to me until it does. And having that framework of, well, it can happen to you, it just hasn't yet, doesn't excuse behaviors that may or may not be tolerated when it comes to fireworks safety. So I think, general reminders year in and year out is always a good thing.
Dr. Stepsis admits that he may sound like a broken record to remind people to leave the fireworks to professionals. But he says it's worth repeating because some injuries can last a lifetime. Reporting in Indianapolis, I'm Kat Sandoval for Wish TV, wishtv.com.
Governor Mike Braun says the future of the death penalty will be up to state lawmakers. The state has carried out 3 executions of Indiana inmates using lethal injection over the last 18 months. But News 8's reporting partner, the Indiana Capitol Chronicle, learned the new Westville Correctional Facility will be able to accommodate executions by firing squad. State lawmakers voted against legislation to authorize firing squads in January, but the governor says the future of capital punishment is a discussion for the General Assembly.
An easy conversation. There are many that want to have a broader conversation on capital punishment in general, and there are some legislators that want to. It's not a big deal to, and even if you are doing it, it's not an easy navigation. That'll be up for them to have that discussion, and I'll weigh in accordingly.
There are still 5 men on Indiana's death row. Attorney General Todd Rokita has requested an execution date for Jeffrey Weisheit, who was convicted of killing 2 young children in 2010. Today, the City County Council here in Indianapolis is set to hear a plan of zoning regulations for data centers. Tim Spears with Indiana's I-Team tells us what's in the proposal and the changes that could still happen.
The City County Council will hear the proposed regulations on Monday after the Metropolitan Development Commission made some changes to the proposed zoning rules for data centers, inviting a chorus of boos from the crowd. Facing a crowd of protesters asking for a data center moratorium, the Metropolitan Development Commission not only advanced proposed zoning rules on data centers, they also voted to loosen those regulations, increasing noise limits to 65 decibels, or about as loud as a conversation. President John Dillon dismissed the idea of delaying the vote, saying the City-County Council will have the ultimate power to make additional changes or reject the zoning ordinance. Dillon also shot down a proposal to add restrictions based on the size of the data center.
All power to the people! All power to the people!
Ahead of the meeting, about 60 protesters gathered outside the City-County building. Rachel Wolverton is sitting front and center with her 3-year-old daughter.
Without clean water for our children to drink, there's no future here. I don't want to raise my children in this type of environment.
Citizens Action Coalition Program Director Ben Inskeep believes the zoning rules will streamline development rather than add public protections.
It's really just meeting the needs of the data center companies that can now have a clear pathway to come to our city and impose nuisances on the people that live here.
In public comment limited to 20 minutes, opposition asked for stricter standards and some requirements not addressed in the zoning draft. But DMD staff pointed out some of these regulations are more strict than what's required of typical industrial developments.
Having no regulations does not make it harder for data centers to be built. It just means that we don't have defined guardrails in place. These regulations are a way we can require these companies meet minimum standards and ensure the proper public processes play out.
City staff hope these rules can address some of the biggest concerns around data centers, requiring annual reporting on noise compliance, water usage, and power consumption. The City-County Council could approve these rules as early as August 10th if they don't make any changes. Reporting downtown, Tim Spears, Indiana's I-Team.
Your statewide news network covers Fort Wayne, where an early Sunday morning shooting ended with 8 people hurt and another person dead. It happened just before 3:30 Sunday morning, southeast of downtown on Oliver Street. Police found 1 woman dead and several other victims at the scene. Investigators say some of the people who were shot took themselves to the hospital. In total, police say 4 men and 4 women were hurt, but their injuries are not life-threatening. Authorities have not identified anyone involved, and so far, no arrests have been made. Today is game night for the U.S. men's national team in the FIFA World Cup, and Team USA will have their leading scorer on the field. The men take on Belgium today and will try to advance to the quarterfinals of the tournament for the first time since 2002. The game is in Seattle and is set to start at 8 p.m. our time. Team's top scorer, striker Flo Balogun, will be eligible to play tonight. The FIFA Disciplinary Committee lifted his 1-game red card suspension yesterday, clearing the way for him to play. The Associated Press reports that President Donald Trump intervened and called the FIFA president asking for a review of the red card. Then yesterday he posted a thank you on social media for reversing a great injustice. Belgium eliminated the U.S. from the World Cup back in 2014. Tonight's game is a chance for revenge for the U.S. men. If you're looking to watch the World Cup game tonight, the Indy 11 is hosting a watch party downtown at Monument Circle. Organizers say the event is free. It starts at 6 p.m. There will be food and drink vendors as well. 2 members of our All-Indiana Politics team say they do not think the Supreme Court's ruling on transgender athletes will play a major role in this November's elections. They say it has little effect on Indiana other than blocking any federal challenges to Indiana's ban. Phil Sanchez brings us the conversation.
Well, this case did not impact Indiana's law specifically. It wasn't about Indiana, but I think all indications are that it makes challenging Indiana's law much more difficult. So the likelihood of that answer is yes.
Does that, Abdul, in your opinion, turn to maybe a nationwide ban?
It's always possible. I don't know if anybody wants to tackle this issue between now and election time. Because the speaker just sent everybody home for the August recess. So they have a very small, tiny window to do it. Now, it's a cultural issue, which I get, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't see this being a big deal here in Indiana because Indiana already has a transgender ban. Michelle Davis, a lawmaker from Johnson County, put out a statement basically saying that she didn't think this affected Indiana's ban either. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, just speak to why you think it's bad for election time, the politics of it all.
Because people are concerned about the economy, concerned about the jobs, health care, bread and butter issues. I mean, this is one of those cultural issues that people on the far right and far left care about. But I think most people have other issues on their mind right now.
Oh, you agree with that, Brad? That maybe this grabs the headlines, but it's not what people care about?
I do. It's not that there are people that care about this a lot, and that's not to diminish their passion. It's a serious issue, and people that are impacted by it, it really means something to them. But I agree with Abdul. I think the majority of voters day in and day out, this isn't really high on the things that they wake up caring about. And so between now and Election Day, I don't think it's something that many politicians are going to want to pick up the mantle on.
You can, of course, see in-depth discussions like that every Sunday on All Indiana Politics. It airs at 9:30 in the morning right here on Wish TV. This morning, the procession for Iran's former supreme leader is moving through the capital. It is the second day of mourning. Yesterday, Iran's top officials and brothers of the new supreme leader emerged into public view to attend the funeral prayers. The crowds called for revenge over the February 28th attack that killed the supreme leader and other top officials. Iran's new supreme leader did not make a public appearance. He is believed to be in hiding after reportedly being wounded in the original airstrike that killed his father. The U.S. is still in negotiations with Iran to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz, roll back Iran's weapons program, and permanently end the war. President Donald Trump is expected to leave tonight to head to Turkey for the NATO summit. The Strait of Hormuz and securing maritime traffic is expected to be a major topic. Senior administration officials said that several NATO allies are willing to help with security, but do not have the ships or assets to contribute to in a meaningful way. Trump is expected to push allies to increase their defense spending on military readiness. The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk is due in court most of the week to decide if he should face the death penalty. This will be the most substantial hearing so far in the murder case. Prosecutors say they plan to lay out evidence against Tyler Robinson in a 5-day preliminary hearing. After that, the judge will decide whether the case will proceed to trial with the death penalty as a possible punishment if Robinson were to be convicted. Kirk's widow, Erica, his parents are all expected to be in court for the hearing. Robinson has not entered a plea in the case. Indiana Fever dominated the Las Vegas Aces 84-68 over the weekend. This is the fewest points, really, that the Fever have ever allowed all season. Team was without Caitlin Clark for their second straight game, but Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell powered the offense to their second straight win.
We've been practicing a lot. We've been taking it serious. I just think it's about discipline, being able to figure it out as a group, and letting the chips fall where they may. You just got to be passionate about it and be ready and be hungry.
Boston had her 6th double-double of the season, finishing with 18 points and 10 rebounds. Mitchell scored a game high of 27 points. This was the first ever regular season win for the Fever in Vegas. Next, they are on the road against the Los Angeles Sparks. Tip-off is at 10 p.m. our time. You can also go to the public pool for free in Indianapolis this month. Mark your calendar. It's on Saturday, July 25th. Stanley Strader Pool, Brookside Pool, MLK Junior Pool, Riverside Pool will all have free admission. It's part of the Swim Safety Initiative to promote life-saving skills and supervision for kids. You can register right now online. Hey, Taylor Swift fans, everyone is celebrating. She and her now husband, Travis Kelce, got hitched, married over the weekend. Madison Square Garden took over New York City. It was a star-studded event and a happily ever after love story for the couple. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.